Well, welcome everybody to another special, very, very special interview here on Max Inc. Radio. Happy to have you along and really happy to welcome in today 7,000 Apart. 7,000 Apart is made up of a duo and a couple, I should say, Amelie Eiding and Jon Kresin. How are you two? And thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you
We're
so much for
good.
having us. And yeah, we're doing great.
I would have to say you are doing terrific. Now, that's my opinion, of course. You're based in Green Bay,
Yep.
um, right now, anyway.
hmm
And the name of the duo, this is the first question I really want to ask you, and I'm sure you get this all the time. 7,000 Apart, though, kind of ties in and refers to where you're from and how you met. Can you explain that great story to all of
Yeah,
us?
absolutely. So I'm originally from Stockholm, Sweden. And when I was 17 years old, I came to the US as an exchange student. And I could have ended up pretty much anywhere in the entire country, but fate, luck, whatever you want to call it, it brought me to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and to Preble High School. I met John. Yeah.
Yeah. So we met in music theory class, actually, my senior year of high school. And we became really good friends over music. And then we became more than friends and we ended up dating all of that school year. And then at the end of the school year, we had to decide whether or not we wanted to break up or stay together and try long distance. And we decided to try long distance, and we ended up spending 3 years, 7,000 kilometers apart from each other.
Which is like 4,362 miles or
Either
something.
way, that's a
Yeah.
long way to be apart.
It's a long way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were apart for those 3 years. It was super difficult, but we got through it. And then after those 3 years, we got married over in Sweden, and then we moved to the US to start pursuing music.
I That story just says so much about who you both are, what you knew you wanted to do and wanted
Yeah.
to do, with a person. I mean, it's just incredible to me. So congratulations on all
Thank you
of
so
that to
much.
start. So
Thank
you
you.
Thank
come
you.
back. You come back to the United States. You're basically based in the Green Bay area right now. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yeah, we've been here since we moved here.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're lucky to
Yeah.
have you in
Yeah.
Wisconsin. And when I said you're doing terrific, I meant it. You guys are having some really good successes when it comes to music. You're popular in Wisconsin, across the Midwest. Are you surprised at how quickly some of this happened? Or would you say you've been working really hard to make this happen too?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been ups and downs. And I mean, throw in a pandemic in the middle of
Ugh,
all the hard work. I mean, that
yes.
definitely slowed things down. We were on Sweden's Got Talent right before the pandemic hit, as well as we did our first regional tour. So we felt like things, and we were talking to some record labels and stuff
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And so it just kind of felt like, we just kind of went downhill a little bit. But the pandemic gave us some other opportunities that we wouldn't have had, and made some good connections. And I would say like it's been a slow but sure grind, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
we have worked really, really hard. And, we started out having like 7 like side jobs to support doing
Whew.
music. And then one after the other, we were able to let them go. And now we're officially full time, which was our goal from the start. So we consider ourselves very lucky.
Yeah.
Terrific. When we do these interviews, many times we'll hear later, wow, we didn't even know that there was this kind of talent in Wisconsin. Do you feel
Mhm.
like in some ways you have to fight that a little bit? Or are you having, again, with your success, are you able to kind of get over that being now from Wisconsin and the Midwest?
No, I would say like it's especially up here in the Green Bay area, it's very much a cover scene. And so like we have amazing cover bands who are doing like such a great job putting on really, really cool shows. And they're extremely talented musicians. So
Mhm.
as an original band, and especially as a pop band, which like pop is not really like, when people go out to see live music, normally they want to see classic rock or country. And so we show up and we're like, hi, we do pop. It's definitely it can definitely be a little hurdle, but it also sets us apart, which I think can be a
Oh,
good thing.
Mhm.
absolutely. Well, I know you have a show coming up in Madison on Sunday. That is July 31st. 31st. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, Sunday, July 31st. That's what we're going with.
Yeah,
And
sounds good.
it's going to be at the Bur Oak here in Madison. Madison is so well known, as is Milwaukee and Waukesha, for original music and all types of it. So I just know you are going to be so well loved in this area.
Oh.
You've had a huge summer tour also, and you've been all around much of the Midwest, and it continues into August. So I guess, how does it feel to be out there and sharing your music with everyone?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, we do this because we love it, and touring and playing live is one of our favorite things.
Yeah, I mean it's really fun getting to do this as much as we are, I guess, too, because also from the pandemic and everything just stopping, it's really, I think we appreciate it all that much more, that we get to do it almost daily. So it's really fun, and getting to see people in person too
And get to
is
see a lot
really
of,
fun.
yeah, and get to see a lot of different places in Wisconsin. I feel like we've been to every little small town, or at least driven through it,
Yeah.
by now. So it's really, really cool to see the state.
Oh, that's great. So what happens after this? Where will you go? I know August you're still really busy, many shows throughout Wisconsin. And so if people miss you in Madison, they can catch up with you almost anywhere else.
Oh
But
yeah.
what do you do by the fall? What are you planning? New music? Another
Yeah,
tour?
so we are actually in the process of releasing our first EP from our upcoming album. So our upcoming album is called Feel Your Feelings, and we're splitting it into two parts, so side A and side B. And so we have been releasing singles this summer, and we're planning on releasing the the final EP here
The
in
first
the
EP,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah, like, well, the finalized EP, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
English is hard as a second language, so
You're doing great. You're
thank
doing
you.
great.
And yeah, so we're releasing that this fall, and then we're gonna start working on the second part. So we definitely have a lot of work ahead of us.
Well,
Mhm.
that gives all of us something to anticipate and look forward to. One thing I noticed, and I think I've heard is important to you, that your music, it kind of takes on the idea of all of us trying to be aware of our mental health. Um, why is that so important?
Yeah, so we released our first album in 2019, which was kind of a bad time to do it because our whole plan for 2020 was to tour.
Yeah.
But when we experienced all these things, like being on Sweden's Got Talent and talking with record labels and all these tours and all this success and stuff that was moving forward really quickly in 2020. And then when that all kind of came to a stop, we had to kind of reevaluate our life and just kind of pivot. And so I actually ended up going to therapy back in 2019, just kind of dealing with things that we were struggling with as musicians and just in life in general. Being in an international relationship, there's a lot of traveling that goes on, and so figuring all those types of things out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we started writing for our second album during the pandemic, largely. And so one of the things I heard in my one of my therapy sessions was, Jon, you need to feel your feelings more. And that really just stuck with me as an artist as well. I think we're supposed to feel our feelings a lot, but also, like, as a society, we don't always feel like we can feel our feelings. And
Exactly.
we don't always feel like we can get help, like if you break your arm, people are like, oh, it's okay to go to the doctor and get that fixed, but if you're struggling with your mental health, there's kind of a stigma around getting help. And so our goal, especially with this second album, is to just try to remove the stigma around getting help and asking people how they're doing, checking in with yourself, as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And hopefully people can relate to some of the songs, which are some of the struggles that we've been dealing with.
And
Oh,
letting people know that they're not alone in what they're feeling.
yes. And what
Yeah.
a beautiful platform for you to be able to use. I've been listening to a lot of your music, and you can hear the message in it, and the way you deliver it is so uplifting
Thank
that
you.
I think it really does make a difference for people because they're hearing it in that way and hearing it from you. So
Yeah, thank you so
thanks
much. That
for
means a lot.
sharing
Thanks.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. It's important. I agree, especially after what we've all gone through the last couple
oh
of
yeah.
years. My goodness. Now, you mentioned, of course, I love this. You've been on Sweden's Got Talent.
Yes.
Mhm.
You won a Wisconsin Music Industry Award. You already
Yeah.
did that, so that's huge.
Yeah.
You have music playing on a couple of MTV shows. The Hills, I think, is one.
Yeah, we had one song placed. Our song Blank Check was placed
Oh,
on the Hill's New Beginnings, which was really, really cool last year.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is a great song. Oh my
Thank you.
goodness.
Thank you.
What though, when you look at all of those things, what do you think together and even separately, what are you the most proud of right now?
I think I'm just proud that we keep going,
Ah,
to be honest, and that we got through the pandemic and that we've always just like kept this love for music and for each other, because like doing music with your significant other isn't always easy, and that we're able to just keep going and be strong in both our relationship and our music. I think that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah, I would say the same thing too. Like we've
Like accomplishments aside, like yeah, winning awards is really cool and it's great to get like that recognition, but I mean, we do this because we love music and because we love each other. So like as
oh,
long as we keep doing that, I know it sounds super
well, we
cheesy,
keep
but
growing too, I think, which is
yeah.
one of the more exciting things is like a lot of artists and people like stop growing in their relationships or in their music. And I think we just keep growing and keep learning in both of those things, which is really
Yeah.
fun.
well, I'm so thrilled to be able to know you and say, we love you too. Oh my
Aw, you're
gosh.
so sweet.
So amazing to be able to chat with you. How are the best ways for everyone listening? How are the best ways to keep up with you guys and to try to see you at a show?
Yeah, so we're really easy to find online. You just type in 7,000 apart without a space between 7,000 and apart because we had enough space in our lives. And
Yeah.
and you can just go to 7000apart.com and that will take you pretty much anywhere you need to go. But we have all the social medias. If you
Yes.
want to check out our events, I think Facebook and our website is the place to go. And for like social media stuff, you want to see what craziness we're getting into, I would say
Yes.
Instagram and TikTok, and also Facebook is pretty much where we hang out these days.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're active. So anybody that isn't following them, oh yeah, follow them, find them. They're a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Amelie and Jon, 7,000 apart. I cannot thank you enough. Have a wonderful show in Madison and with all of the shows you have coming up in August. And thank you again.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Our pleasure. This is Max Inc. Radio, and we are local music.